Hello, Scorpio rising. I'm Britten LaRue. This is Scopes Unshamed for August 2026. How are you doing? How are you doing? What has been coming up? How was July? July had a lot of really big energy. We just came off a huge full moon in Aquarius. So I'm wondering what came up. The data of what came up. As in, this is what I was thinking about. This is what I was talking about. These are the things that happened in my life. These are the conversations. Like, these are the health things. This is the stuff I was dealing with in my house. This is the stuff that my brain kept repeating. Like, there's the data of your life is everything that just tended to be coming up in you, through you, and around you. And that includes collectively. If you could just sit with the data of July and feel into like, how would I drop that into themes? If I was to be like, what are the themes of July? What would you say for you? Because it will be really helpful to track these themes for the rest of the year because this story of July is continuing. And the more you understand the themes of the story, the more you'll be able to sense like the skillful questions to ask, the the most appropriate next moves to make, and the and most importantly, the ways you can most be of support to yourself and how to resource yourself with whatever's going on. So when we come into August, we're coming off that, and some of these themes are going to be really continuing. I think that a really big one that may be already very alive for you and is going to continue to be very alive in August is this theme of what you do in the world, like what you're known for, your career, your reputation, and the polarity of that with your private life, where you come from, your home, what you fall back into at the end of the day, and the patterns around home that came from childhood, that came from family of origin, that come from your lineage, your ancestors, the land that you're from. And the relationality between how you show up out there and who you are back home here, I think is just probably really up for you. And you're learning a lot of things about yourself that maybe you hadn't really seen before. And you are making adjustments based on all of the new information that you're getting. So it's a big time. It's a big time. And this month, the sun is moving through Leo, which is the sign at that house that I was just referring to of your career and your public reputation, what you're known for bringing to the village. In the village square, they say, there's so and so, they're the blank. They're the one who blanks. That's your 10th house. There tends to be a lot of shame there because we import into our sense of good, bad, what we think we're supposed to be to please our caregivers, to please culture, to please people in the world, like what we have to be in order to be any good at being out in the world. We tend to have a lot of shame there. So this may be a great time for noticing the shame that you have and supporting yourself in clearing it. So you can get out of a should relationship to your 10th house and into a relationship to your 10th house that has to do with generosity and desire. And that's a big one that I teach on. So the sun is moving through your 10th house. And then we have Jupiter now in your 10th house, like really expanding what's there. Like making everything bigger from everything that you don't like to what you do like. Jupiter will be expanding that. It can be a very buoyant time in your career. And then this month, you'll also have the sun, the moon, and Mercury now out of retrograde in Cancer and now into Leo. So when we have this new moon on August 12th, it's going to be an eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. So the eclipses happen every 6 months. And these little windows of time that last at least 2 weeks, there's usually eclipses in pairs, sometimes in threes. There's two this time. So there's a 2 week window where we're really between eclipses, and that's when a lot of stuff happens. In these windows of time, every 6 months, there's like a period of kind of escalation of energies collectively and personally in response to something being seen that previously was unseen. So usually eclipses are playing with revealing and concealing and illuminating something that had been obscured. And so some kind of information, it's just data, like an event can be data, some kind of event what might happen that creates a collective or an individual response by you because you now see something that you didn't see before. And the tricky thing with eclipses is they tend to spotlight what was always there. It's not that it wasn't there and now it is there. It's just that we weren't seeing it. We weren't paying attention to it. We weren't making it a big deal. And now collectively we're all like, oh my God, like we see this now. And that can happen to you personally. And so what we're dealing with is new sight. And this is uncomfortable to the degree that, like, we don't like it or not. And we feel like we have to take action, we have to speak, we have to respond to it in some way. So, one of the most powerful things that we can do with eclipses is to hold back from speaking out, from taking action, so that we really are sure we're listening to ourselves rather than getting caught up in collective energy and then later regretting whatever we say or do. That is a really wise thing that I would recommend for you to consider as you move through the month of August. Um, This for you may bring up things that have to do with your career. It may bring up stuff that doesn't have anything to do with your career. But because it's in Leo, there's a chance that how you show up is being invited to shift at some level based on the new information that's coming in. And your invitation, I would say, is to tune in to be able to respond to this month from a wise and anchored place in your truth. Trusting that whatever is coming forward is ultimately supporting you and us in being liberated into truth, as uncomfortable as it may feel. Maybe it won't be uncomfortable. You have to just go out and collect your data, is what I like to say. Just be a data collector. So be available to see the data because you can't collect data if you're not available to look at it. And we humans love to ignore data all the time. So it's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. When we move into the later part of the month, the sun will then be moving into Virgo. And so the second eclipse will not be happening in Leo. It will be happening in Virgo and Pisces because it's a lunar eclipse, which means it's a full moon. So we're activating the whole polarity of Virgo and Pisces. So the moon will be lighting up your fifth house and the sun will be in your 11th house in a whole sign system, which is what I use. So, um, yeah, I feel like full moon in Pisces every year is amazing. I love a full moon in Pisces. It tends to me to feel really good because Pisces invites us to be connected to the oneness of all life and how we're all interconnected by the music and the love of the universe. But because it is an eclipse, it may have some extra emotionality to it. There could be grief that comes up. It could feel melancholic. It could be just like really swollen with all of the emotions of the prior 2 weeks from the first eclipse, where we just sort of like feel ourselves well up and just want to cry, just like really cry it out and witness ourselves in what it is to be human beings with feelings, which is what life is. So, inviting you to say yes to that because a good cry is sometimes the most healing and loving thing that we can give ourselves. Also, at the very end of the month, we have this um, increasing energy all of August, whereby Jupiter is just moving along through Leo, and it's going to move into an angle with Saturn in Aries. So that they're going to make what we call a trine, which is when two planets are talking to each other from different signs, but the same element. So they're like in signs that get each other. Saturn's in the fire sign of Aries, Jupiter's in the fire sign of Leo. They both speak fire. And, Saturn is the planet of constriction, contraction. And then Jupiter is the planet of expansion and openness. So together, when they're working together, they can help you create form around something that is generative, expansive for you. And for you, this is happening in work houses because Saturn is currently in your sixth, which is often associated with work routine, like the actual stuff of your day-to-day life, where you actually have to-do lists. And Jupiter is more in like what you're known for, like the visible known for, not the actual doing of the thing. The sixth house is the doing of the thing. So they're talking to each other from these spaces, helping you to get more energy behind things that you're working on that you become known for. So, like for me, that's like the way that sounds is exciting because I love feeling like I am basically manifesting my ideas. I love feeling like the energy is supporting me and working towards what I want to create. That's the energy I'm talking about. But this is part of a larger story. You're not done with the story. You're in like phase one. So you're learning a lot about what the larger story is going to be for you. It's probably just what are you focusing on? What are you focusing your attention on? That's what I'm talking about. You don't need to look very hard for it. It's very obvious. It'll be obvious to you. What are you working on? Jupiter is helping to like lift that into a more like public consciousness around you. And so at this point, you may be in a phase of that, and that's very exciting. So you can't fuck it up. Just follow the signs. Like just stay with what you want to focus on and allow that energy to help you build it. If you enjoyed this scope, I hope you'll subscribe so you can get future scopes. You can see them come in. Please like, please comment. This is a new project I'm doing, Scopes Unshamed, and I would love to have more comments and likes and shares and subscribes so that we can build energy around Scopes Unshamed. Please share this if you have a friend that you is a Scorpio rising that you think would love this. And I will see you in September. Have a great August.